Glad to hear.
Yeah, we got one of you.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah,
Nobody's watching this shit.
we'll put it in there. Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 271. And these guys are not helping me at all. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for all things firearms related. Tonight, we'll be doing a review and talking about some new stuff. Pretty uneventful, huh? So, tonight on the podcast, we have Tony and Zane. And we don't know where Rob is, but he's probably working. So
Probably needs bail money.
it could be. What do you guys do in firearms? Tony, you're not muted, so you can go first.
I did in firearms. I decided to take on the really tough things in the firearm industry what people don't even talk about, which is testing out vertical foregrips.
Angled or just vertical foregrips?
Angled foregrips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I took it on. I was all excited because I was like, hey, man, I could start doing some reviews. Companies send me stuff. I'll check it out because we already know I'm doing the flashlight review for Nightstick. Yo, dude, I don't use vertical foregrips. I don't use foregrips. I have long arms. I pretty much hold on to the front sight base. That's how long my arms are. I'm going to have to send them the stuff back and go, I can't even be fair with this because really I don't use it. It puts my arm and wrist in an unnatural position, mainly because I have long arms. So I can't fairly judge your stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean about those. Though I run an angled foregrip on my SBR, and that's the
Mhm.
only thing I run it on because, like with that, I wanted something to know where to put my hand, so to speak, because
Yeah.
it's an SBR, so it's a lot easier to get your hand out there where you don't want it. So
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, okay, what do I do? So I'm going to try to figure something out to get some use out of this. But yeah, I don't even think it's fair. But it
Run it
is
like a
what it
hand
is.
stop. That's
But
pretty much
again,
the
my
only thing I
arm,
have use for.
yeah, because my arm's long enough that I mean, I use again, I have the dissipator with an actual fixed front sight.
Mm,
That's my hand stop. It doesn't get hot. It's a fake front
yeah.
sight base.
I think a
But
lot of people kind of forget what vert foregrips were originally for and why the military used them. And then
mhm.
it was cool then, so people seem to think they're still cool.
Well, this is actually built. This one particular is built for people with a prosthesis on their other hand.
Mm,
It is angled for them to be able to clamp on with one of those,
makes sense.
and it's angled. And but yeah, I'm gonna try to make it work and worthwhile.
nice. Zane, did you do anything?
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Did I tell you guys I went to the Friend NRA dinner in New York?
Oh,
I
you told
saw that you did, but you didn't tell the viewership.
Yes. So I went to the Hudson Valley Friends of the NRA, which is in New York State. Um, Sat at the table, ran by Rise, which is a really cool range out there, Rockland indoor. Dang, S in education, shooting and education. Rise is a great range, and they bought like 3 tables at this NRA thing because their owner Irene was hosting it, and various people were sitting at the table. And then I discovered I was sitting beside Bill Harris. I saw his name on the tag. I don't know who Bill Harris is unless you think about Halloween, October 31st, 2017, in New York City, where a terrorist decided to run people over on a bike trail with a pickup. And then he crashes the pickup into a bus, jumps out of his pickup with 2 guns, and starts screaming Ali Akbar, not understanding that Bill Harris gave 2 damns about Ali and Akbar because he was a Marine, dang it. And he don't care how long he's been out. He's going to run up on this dude and open a can of whip ass. And that's exactly what he did. He ran up on the guy. The guy ran away from him, and the New York PD shot the guy, shot the terrorist. Bill still ran up on him and kicked the guns out of his hands as the cops took him into custody. So I was sitting at dinner with him and his wife, and it was awesome, right? Because he was a cool dude, real humble, didn't even want anybody to know about it, but there was another retired New York PD cop there, and he had to, tell. So Bill and I go outside, start talking, and find out we were stationed at the same place 10 years apart. Same base overseas, 10 years apart. It was freaking hilarious. Same unit, everything. So it was really cool to find another brother from the Marine Corps who did some awesome stuff. And I had the honor of having dinner with him and his wife at the Friends of NRA in New York. Donate to your friends of the NRA. Good people doing good things that have nothing really to do with big NRA.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
a fan. I volunteered with them. That's cool.
Yeah.
So what did I do this week? I taught a my 1-day concealed carry course, which is much more in depth than my standard one because the state of Florida has laws about what they require. So I just kind of do my own thing and go way above and beyond. And if someone doesn't want to do that, then they can go somewhere else. So I did that. Had I think 3 or 4 students in that. That was good. Did a little shooting prior. Regular
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. We might have you kill your camera though, Zane.
Am I lagging?
You were a little for me. I don't know about for
Probably because
Tony.
I'm arguing on Facebook with people.
Okay.
That's probably it.
Yeah, I thought it was just me, so I turned off my camera and my mic.
And it wasn't you.
And camera's dead. Yeah, no, I'm arguing with people on Facebook, so I'm using up bandwidth because status gonna state, bro.
That's right. Let's see. I actually got out and did some stuff. Just the range, ran some, pistol drills, trying out some steel targets. I got a new Odin Works 4-end, so I was running that on an AR. Try it out. Just kind of the usual. Not really anything too exciting, but that's what I did. Now Zane's going to have to help me out here because we're on to the announcements. And the first one we have is the NRA meetup. And hopefully
Yes.
Zane can tell me when it is because I didn't put it in the show notes.
It's Saturday. I can pull it up real quick.
And it's at 6:30 or something.
Yeah, if that's some
bar.
place.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'll chime in.
Bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. Go join the Patch of the Month Club because it is awesome, and they have a bunch of new World War II themed patches out. Go check them out; they're really sweet, and I think my wife might kill me if I bought too many of them. And you can use our GunTech affiliate link if you would like. If you're shopping AR parts, go check out gunstreamer.com for firearms content, mainly videos, in place of the YouTubes. And if you're shopping Amazon, use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you want to donate stuff from Black Bag Resources to Tony's 2A4E diversity shoot, use the code 2A4E at checkout, and anything in your cart will be donated to Tony. Or everything.
And if you want to go to our FRN listener meetup at the NRA annual meeting, meet us at Sun King Brewing Company in Indianapolis, Indiana at 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, April 22nd.
So Tony found it quicker than
what he said. No, I had it. I was just waiting for a break, and Tony beat me to it. So good job.
And both.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you had it.
Both you two will be there, correct?
Yes.
And there will be beer and I believe wine served there, but there's like no hardcore booze. So
no hardcore.
Sorry about your luck, you drunks.
So Zane's sorry about his luck.
Oh, dude, I drink beer, so I'll be good.
Yeah, they might not have PBR though.
Nice.
It's gonna be a good time. I think.
It probably will be. I mean,
I know a lot of us are going to be there from a lot of the different shows. So like me and Tony are going to be there. Obviously, most of the We Like Shooting crew is going to be there. I think one of the guys from Reloading, guys from AR-15 podcast going to be there.
Weird Beard's going to be there.
Weird Beard from
Radio.
Oh yeah,
yep,
yeah, I
from
heard
Handgun Radio. Yep,
awesome.
Be fun.
Well, the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-host. Since Rob's not here, I guess I have to read that. And they do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised. Probably not tonight, but this is especially true on live shows. And first up is an actual review done by me. And what we have is the Rock Slide USA. It's their RS2 slide, but I have it here if you want to see it. But the pictures in the review are at the firearmsinsider.tv are way better. Rock Slide has come on the market with some pretty decent products. This is a Glock slide, which is their main thing, slides, barrels, stuff like that. You can get this slide in two different versions, of course. For just about for like Glock 26, 27, 19, 20, 19, 17, 23, all different ones they make them for. But this is the RS2 pattern, and basically RS2 with an RMR cut. So it's got the Holosun on it. The standard model, the RS1, is just a plain slide. It doesn't have these vent cutouts in it. Basically, it was a strip slide. It is in black. Hey, it's for Glock 17 or Polymer 80 full size is what I put it on. I was pretty impressed when I first opened the box that it came in. It's very well machined. The black is nice. They Cerakote their slides instead of like other coatings. They did say that they're looking into doing other coatings, but as for now, they're all Cerakoted. They have like 6 or 7 different colors you can get. So of course, I immediately put my Glock parts kit in it, and all the parts went in fine. So on and so forth. I then installed the Holosun on it, of course. You know, the way they do this is it has little studs that stick up as opposed to just screw holes. So the sight sits over the studs and then the screws go in it. They move a little teeny bit on those studs, but not enough to really worry about. And it's kind of nice because then they can cut the slide for basically the extreme of the tolerances because those studs keep it from moving back and forth. They also sent a cover plate, which I took a few pictures with it, and that was about it. Here's the cover plate. If you want to see it, it's just a cover plate. So that's, the cover plate fit nice, lined up great, didn't have like a lot of other stuff. They also make the slides, if you don't want an RMR cut, they make it with a Vortex Venom cut. So if you want a less expensive option for a dot sight, they do have that option. I really like the looks of this thing. The vent cuts on the front are kind of cool. This is just a range gun, so I don't care if mud or anything gets in there because it shouldn't. But like I mentioned earlier, the RS1 doesn't have these. They're neat looking. I can say that. The rear slide serrations are deep enough that they're useful. They're angled, sharp, good grip. Now the other thing is the slide, kind of the front 2/3 maybe is beveled. If I do a front picture, you can see how it's kind of cut on the sides. You can see it in the picture, but on the video, they kind of angle it in so it doesn't look exactly like your typical square-ish Glock slides. It gives it a little different look. Like I said, I mounted it to my Polymer 80 frame. The slide's was a nice snug fit. It's still a nice snug fit without much movement, hard or play, up, down, left, right. I do have a Faxon barrel in it. It made it up nicely to the barrel. Now, for you guys, because Zane said I'm going to get killed in the streets. I did not put any sights on it, iron sights. I thought about it, and then I was like, I'm just going to run it at the range. It's not a carry gun. It's not a home
I can't
gun.
even believe you're here to talk about it without backup iron sights. You should have already been killed
And-
in the streets.
Yeah, I know, but hey, there was a flood here, so I guess the criminals couldn't come out. I thought about it and whatever. But it does have the rear dovetail and the front little oval thing. This handgun actually shoots really nice with this slide on there. So there is that. So their rock slides claim a better performance. Yes, it does give you better, at least on this particular gun, it gave better performance. Actually, since I've received the slide, I have actually shot this handgun more than any other in my collection. I did shoot this particular gun at a speed steel match, so steel challenge. It had 0 problems, as I kind of expected. Anytime it gave me 0 problems, accurate, and well, it functions great. I also thought it looked good because it's simple but not over the top like some of them. And one of the things is the straight slides without the cuts, they start at $200 stripped. You can also get options on their website that have basically you can buy a complete sight with sights, an optic, a barrel, basically everything. You can, if you want to buy it complete, you can. So 200 is base price and they go up from there. They come with a lifetime warranty. I mean, it's a slide, so I don't know what what you could actually do to one to need to use it. So go check out Rock Slide. They make a nice product. I'm very pleased with it. So on to the Firearms Insider Review 8 key points. Claim to fame, precision machine Glock slide, yada yada. Target market, pistol builders, Glock users want a complete slide with a miniature red dot cut, or just anybody that wants something like this. It's features and benefits. It's tighter tolerances. It is made from 416R stainless steel, so you don't need. It is stainless, so having the Cerakote over it, even if you were to get the Cerakote off, it's not going to rust. This one's vented. It does have an optional cover plate. It's not squared on the front. It's got that kind of taper to it. And you can get it with a Vortex Venom or an RMR cut. Other options available, with or without optics cuts and vents, FDE, OD green, burnt bronze, tungsten, pink, or unfinished is what they offer at the time of this writing. There's a YouTube review on it that I posted a link to, and then what somebody else was saying. So the price point, this RS2 starts at $219.99. As tested was $239.98 because the plate adds like $20. No big deal. Retail prices, I put $199.99 to $429.98 depending on the options you want. So if you need it now, go to Rockslide USA. That's pretty much the only place that sells them. There's probably a few other places out there, but I couldn't really find any in my quick search. So our rating, the pros, the price. I like the vent cutouts. I like the precision machine. I like that it has an RMR cut, and it just looks good to me. The cons is that it is not machined for the individual optic, and it's not a big con because it has those posts, but some people want them specifically for their optic. And I liked it so much and thought they did such a nice job. I gave it a score of 9, which is amazing. And part of the reason they got such a good rating was because the price is basically comparable with, not a lot of stuff except maybe the Brownells slides that Brownells makes. So
Yeah, Brownells was the only thing that was close that I saw.
yeah, that's the same here, and that's why I'm like, this thing is awesome for the price. I mean, and like I said, you can get, like, if you wanted a complete slide barrel, all that stuff, you can choose it as options, and it's still not astronomically expensive.
Do you have a Brownell slide also, by the way?
A Brownell slide, I do not.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering how they related towards one another, but
I looked at them at SHOT Show. So I don't know how they fit, but the Brownell slides, they're kind of a plain Jane slide, and I'm sure, I mean, the Brownells makes them or has them made for them, so I'm sure they're decent. But like Tony said, they're the only ones that he found or I found that are anywhere close to price.
that's legit. I need
I
to
got
get
a question
like this.
Yeah, all right. That's what I was going to ask.
Yes.
At this point in Glock development and Glock accessory development, would you trust an aftermarket slide like this to defend yourself with as your carry gun?
Yes, I actually would. The thing is, though, is all of us on here are going to make sure and run it enough that we're going to trust it. I mean, it's made from decent steel. It's made on CNC equipment. All the parts fit nice. If it's not any different really than any other slide, I would, but it's not like I would just put it on here, shoot 100 rounds through it, and call it good.
How about you, Zane?
Okay, now I'm not muted. I don't know. I kind of want to agree with that. Like, I think we're far enough that they're probably good, but there's a ton of companies that are milling out factory slides for decent prices that I don't know. I haven't played with any aftermarket slides really. It's a tough call for me. I mean, if it runs reliably, yeah.
No, I mean,
but,
it's yeah. Of course, there's no right or wrong answer. I just wanted to know where everyone stood, because I'm like, aftermarket everything. Let's go with aftermarket everything Glock, like what you have, right? That's a Polymer 80 lower.
Yeah.
That's parts kits. That's a Franken gun.
Yeah.
Would you run it?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, yeah, and that's all the parts fit like they're supposed to, and they're all Glock parts. Except
I personally would not run a Polymer 80 frame, and that is purely because I don't trust me in finishing it. If you trust you in finishing it out, go
now
for it.
Here's my next question for you though.
Yeah.
Polymer 80 makes 100% frames.
There you go.
Would you trust it?
I don't know. I don't know if it would or not.
Okay.
I haven't seen their 100%.
How's this though? Because I was looking at this today because I often fall down this rabbit hole doing this dang show.
No, not you, Tony.
Oh my God. So Polymer 80 does it because I live in Jersey. I can't have a Polymer 80% lower. So all of my stuff has to be a complete lower. So I started looking at companies that made complete lowers. Grey Ghost Precision makes complete lower. Lone Wolf makes a complete lower for a Glock. Now, those are two companies have got years in making this. Would you trust it? Would you trust building your own Glock and then buying an aftermarket slide like from this company and putting it together and running it? And then here's the other question. How many rounds would you run through it before you go, all right, this is okay for me? And I'm just throwing it out there because I know we have two products tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So
I know that.
As for a round count, I'm probably still up in that really high round count. I'd probably want to do 400 or 500 target ammo and probably at least 50, maybe even 100 of what I plan to carry in it. But but I'd much prefer to actually take it to a class and run it through a class because I've had guns that
That's when
there's
that's where the
guns
fields fall
that
off.
run just fine. If every XD owner on the planet has 9 million rounds through their gun with not a single failure ever or a single part replacement. So, but somehow every time they end up in a 2-day class, they all go down every single time. So, I prefer to take it like a 2-day class with someone like Cowan or Fisher, or maybe VCQB with Petty, or something that's going to put the gun through its paces. But as for like an aftermarket frame, I probably still wouldn't run one from anyone, even though Grey Ghost, like I know Grey Ghost makes good stuff or whatever, but how much is a Glock frame? They're like $170 if you need to order one.
Yeah,
I just get it from Glock.
Truthfully, they're less than that for Grey Ghost. They're less than that for a lot of companies, but I mean, it's not significantly less. I mean, we're still talking under $200 for every one everybody makes.
Right.
That's just with nothing in it, because it's a hunk of plastic.
Right.
But no, I was just wondering about that. Yeah, the round count, yours isn't really that high. I mean, 400 with training ammo is not that high.
No, but compared to what a lot of people would put
and that's the thing, is I'm kind of a 500 round minimum just target ammo person, and like if I am going to run a carry gun, I'll actually run carry ammo through it.
Yeah. And not a magazine of it. I want to run like 50, 100 rounds through it. And I know it's kind of expensive.
Through different magazines too.
Yeah.
Because, even though it works in one magazine, it may not work in the other magazine, even though target ammo did.
And honestly, that's kind of my protocol for established stuff. So I would probably double that in something that's, like one of these aftermarket frames. Like, I mean, I get a brand new Glock and I do that before I carry it, even though got a 99.9% chance that gun's going to run just fine. But
let's not brush over this either. Let's not brush over actually taking it into a class. Because you run at your own pace when you're training yourself, but when you're running someone else's class, they have a bunch of drills that you run. Yep. And sometimes when you buy something, you have that bias, all the time. And you might not count that time it did something weird and you're able to clear it and keep firing. When you do it in the class, it's going to be called out immediately. Because everybody else is running the drill and you're clearing a jam or a double feed or something.
Well, and I'll go with, yes, the class I think is the best place to run a gun to see if it works. And second would be some sort of competition, because you're in the same boat. If it jams, you're not going to so much get called out, but you're still shooting stuff not like you normally would at the range, like just, I'll shoot this, it jammed, I guess I'll clear it in 10 seconds or whatever, because the other thing, there's some sort of stressor, so to speak.
So every malfunction I've ever had that wasn't ammo related was in a class, whether that be shooter induced or maybe the gun had a hiccup. Usually, in all reality, they're shooter induced. You do something, you're trying to maintain a standard, you do something. So when I've Sunny in 75 and I'm standing on the firing line, just pew, pew, pewing away. No. And even my 1911 that I talk about on this show that jams all the time, if I'm just standing there shooting tiny little holes, no, it runs just fine. But when I get into a supplying prone, or I get into a shooting drill where I'm trying to run fast or something, that's when I start having issues. So again, just my round count of 400 to 500 is not a static, round count.
Yeah. And I completely understand that, because I've done stupid stuff like shooting USPSA, not anymore, but where you'll jam a gun through a port or something, not even thinking about it. You think you're back far enough, but it's halfway through the port or something. And now you shoot it and it hits the port, slows the slide down, and causes a jam. Well, that was shooter induced because I was being stupid, but that's how you learn. And that's the same thing with like class. We're not saying shoot 500 rounds and if it's good, it's good, because it's just kind of how we judge. It's
I
just
mean, so
kind of,
in the class I had this weekend, there was a gun that came through and it experienced 3 failures, and the guy in the class was like, "Man, the gun has never done that before." I'm like, "Well, you
Mhm.
probably never shot to somebody else's standards before either." So maybe, and listen, I'm not saying that I'm not even throwing the brand out there.
Don't even go.
Your gun
don't.
is a bad gun, but just because you never had a failure before, you've had 3 today, and this is a 300 round count course. It's not even a high round count class. So, you take that
Yeah.
for what it's worth.
Yep.
And the reason I said, because I'm the first one to call people out, this was his class and his student, and you just don't want to put that out there like that.
Nope.
Right now, he knows who he is, and that's cool.
Exactly.
Yep.
And we had a very productive conversation about that at the end of class, which is a lot easier to do in a classroom scenario than it is in a chat room on Facebook.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay.
I know everything. I'm on Facebook. All right, cool. Let's get into fun stuff.
You heard Tony. Okay. We'll get into the fun stuff. Product spotlight and discussion. This is not a review. This is just what we think of new products. First up is a 22, the Winchester Wildcat, with an MSRP of $249.99. Okay, I put this in here, 1, because it got released, 2, because I actually think they might have something here. But, so Winchester brought out a new 22 rifle. It's kind of funky looking, but to each their own. It is semi-auto. It is magazine fed. Now, first up, I'm going to say the magazine. I don't know if it's a direct copy, but it says the Wildcat also accepts a wide range of aftermarket magazines that are compatible with the 1022. So somebody else got smart and made their gun compatible with the industry standard.
Yeah.
Which I'm guessing it probably would, good chance it would use regular 1022 10 round magazines also. It only includes one 10 round rotary magazine, but hey, I guess whatever. So I'll get into this a little more. It's kind of got its lower receiver. You push a button and the whole little thing drops out. The receiver, the spring, the trigger assembly, it all drops out. And there's a pair of Allen wrenches also stuck in this system to adjust your rear sight, and the other one is for removing the stock if you want to take it completely apart. I thought that was kind of cool. Of course, you'll lose them, but they supply them first up. It has a slide lock button at the front of the trigger guard, kind of like a 1022, but it's not funky like that one. So you can lock it back. It has a fully adjustable rear ghost ring sight and a ramped front sight. The only thing that I do not like about this is it is not threaded. But hey, what else? It looks like can't tell if it's built in. It's got a pick rail on top, so you can just mount whatever you want on it. It also has a bolt release button on the left side of the firearm, so you can use like your thumb to push it to release the bolt. Let's see. We talked about the magazine. You can release 2 different ways. You can push it both sides of this little spring thing, or there's a button in front of the magazine that it'll tab that you push forward and the magazine falls out. Let's see if there's anything. It's got front and rear sling eyelets. Here it says it is an integral Picatinny top rail. It does have a pick rail section at the front, looks like about 3 rails, and a cover that goes over it, so you can put something on the front if you want. The stock's it's all polymer cut out, where you push the button to release the whole action is also a hole so that you can clean it from the backside of the rifle, which is another nice plus. Let's see. It's got an 18-inch barrel. Overall length is 36.25 inches. It only weighs 4 pounds. Let's see if there's anything else critical in here that we really need to know. Polymer trigger material, composite trigger guard. It's got a crossbolt safety behind the trigger. That's about it. I saw this, and at first I was like, oh great, somebody else made some 22. I actually kind of like it. I don't really care for the looks, but I'm glad the price point's where it's at. I'm glad that it does stuff like uses 1022 magazines. It is striker fired, they say. So I don't, that's not here nor there. I don't think it really matters. It's still a single action style striker. But I thought it looked interesting. I don't know, not that I need another 22, but hey, if I see one cheap enough, I might just buy one.
I really looked at this and I was like, Zane's gonna hate this. Awesome. So
and I didn't put it in here because Zane doesn't like 22s. I just put it in here because it was new and hey,
I don't
like
hate
22s.
this.
So
I know.
I'm looking at it and I like a lot about it. I'll go ahead and say, all right, I love the fact that it takes 1022 mags because that's just smart in this day and age. That's like having a pistol caliber carbine that takes Glock mags. It's just the smart thing to do.
It's
for the most
like
part.
having a Glock slide that has a small pistol sight red dot that uses an RMR cut.
Yeah. I mean, it's just smart. What else I like about it? It has last round hold open, which most people like. What? Yeah, it has last round hold open, which is kind of awesome. It also has a slide release that's a button that you can hit, or you can just rack it back like you do a 1022. I like the fact that you don't, dude. It drops and breaks like an AR. You push the button in the bottom, the guts come out, and you can just clean the gun without. It's not so finicky and it's not so bad, but it's not intuitive at all to take down a 1022. So this is easier on that. I don't dig the black on black sight. I figured you'd have at least something you can put a high, one of the high vis front sights, or at least a gold dot or something, and it's just all black. And I think it might be unique to them. Which, if you were to put a 1022 front sight on, at least it'll be easy swappable. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
just make the same cuts.
It looks like, not that it kind of, in one of the pictures you can almost tell that it looks like it's screwed on. It's like curved and then screwed on.
Yeah, it does look like it's cool screwed on, but like, what do you use?
Yeah.
What's comparable to it? My other thing is the trigger. It says it had one of the Allen wrenches are for the adjustable trigger. But what's the trigger pull weight on this? Because if
I
it's like
thought
the BX trigger.
I thought it was just to take it apart, and then one was for the
two.
rear sight. Yeah, the
Oh, is
larger
that what
one
it is? The rear
is to
sight?
take it apart, I think.
Oh no, I must have misheard it then on one of the videos I saw. I thought you could adjust the trigger.
Maybe you can. I don't know.
That's another thing. Is it an adjustable trigger? Is it like the BX trigger that the Ruger makes? Because that's direct competition. Actually, this is cheaper than a Ruger 1022 MSRP. So by the time it hits the streets, it has a lot of good things on it. I mean, but at this point, if I'm getting another Ruger 1022, I'm getting a breakdown, mainly because I have two of them, plus I have the 522 from CZ. So I have 22s. Oh, and the Cricket. So I have 22s and everything that I need when I'm teaching a student, because that's what it comes down to me. If I was going to get a 22 for my personal use, I'd get a breakdown.
Now I'm gonna add something in here that just makes me happy. Is in their when you go to their page, they got two younger, not super young, but kids, like teenagers maybe. One might be a little younger, out shooting, and one's holding a prairie dog or some sort of squirrel. And I thought that was kind of cool that they show, younger kids doing something, eradicating rodents, as opposed to just the guy shooting it. That's completely out there. But hey, Zane, I want to hear what you have to say.
I'll kind of mirror, honestly, what Tony said. There are things I like about it.
Hey,
there are things I don't like about
this
it.
is not Twig. You can't just say.
100% agree.
Totally.
No, I do. I think the fact they use the Ruger, the 1022 mags, is pretty smart on their point. Yeah, on their part. I like the integrated pick rail up top because I think this is a perfect host for a red dot or a really low power variable, like a 1 to 4.
Yeah, or even a 2 to 7.
I'm not a huge fan of the ghost rings on a rifle. I'm okay with ghost rings on shotguns. Once you get to rifles, I'm like, all right, whatever. It's better than nothing. But I kind of wish. Now, hear me out on this. It's going to sound weird. I kind of wish this was a pistol. Okay, with a arm brace and like a 14.5-inch barrel. Because with that removable trigger guard or the removable trigger system, I assume that is the serialized part. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that.
I would go out on a limb and actually kind of guess that too.
All right. So with this being a rifle, that trigger pack can't be put into a pistol. If this were a pistol and they released a rifle chassis later, a pistol can become a rifle and then go back to a pistol again, but a rifle can never become a pistol. If I understand my NFA correct. I am not an attorney, and the views and opinions expressed in this podcast, or you get the idea. But so I think that would have been a cool way to go with this, because then, but nonetheless, I don't think it's a bad gun at all. I think I agree with you 100%. The barrel should be threaded. Why we're not threading barrels these days, especially on 22s, is beyond me. But, I think they did get a lot of things right with it. So I kind of expected way more to be dislikable. So I'm impressed. Still don't want one because me and 22s,
Right.
But.
Yeah, but I think they did their homework, and I'm kind of glad because Winchester's kind of been just laying back, not doing much lately.
Well, yeah, I wonder where they produce this one at.
Yeah, who knows?
I wonder where it's built at.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, that's neither here nor there. But I like a lot of the things they brought to the table. And do you call it innovative when you know you're intentionally jumping on someone else's back and riding them out like that? I mean, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And the stock looks kind of like the Magpul Hunter stock, but with like a cutout in the middle of it too.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see a takedown version of this really soon, just because of.
And it wouldn't surprise me if, like you said, if that trigger group is the serialized part. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they actually if they decided to make a pistol down the way.
I mean, this
even like Ruger made
a 10-inch barrel
pistol.
Yeah, but I mean, if you put a SB, tactical brace on this with a 10-inch barrel, I mean, with 22 long rifle, you don't need 16 inches. Like
18.
18. That's right. Is this an 18-inch barrel?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
I don't get that.
Yeah, it should have been 16, but whatever. But yeah, like this with a 10-inch barrel and maybe a folding brace. Now you're on to something, because you can always drop that trigger pack into a rifle at that point. Because if I remember my NFA correctly, a pistol can go to a rifle and then back, but a rifle can never be made into a pistol. If I remember correctly.
Okay. Oh, so what do you say? Like somebody can buy the rifle kit and just put the trigger in, and they have another gun? Is that,
buy the pistol, then buy the rifle kit, and you could go back and forth. But if you buy the rifle and then the pistol kit, legally you can't go back and forth.
But
and again,
price,
yeah, well, just buy both of them, really. I mean, for the price.
Buy both.
But this would be awesome with like a 10-inch barrel and like a stabilizer brace for those people who live on a farm and need to pop rabbits or groundhogs or whatever. Like, this is, it's cool. Again, I would prefer to see rifle sights. But with that Picatinny rail, you throw $100 red dot on it, and call it a day.
You put a Holosun on it. You put something like that that's a little
Yep.
more expensive, has automatic cutoff. You pick that sucker up. It's ready to pop something and put it back down. Threaded barrel would be better, but it
Yes.
has a crowned barrel, dude. I mean, let's not blow that off either. It's not flush
Yeah.
cut, so I think that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
would like to see that front sight pushed back and it threaded, for a suppressor, especially with as many suppressor, especially 22 cans getting out there.
Oh,
To
yeah.
put a real tiny little 22 can on it. I mean, I get it. 22 is not very loud, but they're technically not hearing safe most of the time, and you only get your hearing once. So,
What?
yeah, exactly.
All right,
Okay.
let's go into the other one so we can.
We
start a
beat
fist
that
fight.
one to death.
Yeah, well, this next one's not near as much fun, I guess. Next up is the Alexander Arms Highlander pistol. Okay, with an MSRP of $1,659, it's not terribly more expensive than all the other pistols we've looked at that are AR style. I actually put the 300 blackout or one in the show notes, but they do make a few other ones with the same price, like 458 SOCOM and something else. But what it is it's their pistol AR. Let's see if there's anything we need to know. It has an 11-inch barrel. It is threaded 5/8 24 like it should be. It has a standard trigger in it, mil spec trigger. Yay. It does come with a Manicore Arms 9-inch transformer rail, handguard, the SBA3 brace, an ergo grip, uh, Cerakoted in your choice of colors of black, OD green, FDE, titanium, burnt bronze, cobalt, or white, I guess. Even though they don't list it, but the picture shows white. So I'm going with white. Basically, it's another AR pistol. I'm not super impressed. I'm not super impressed with it for the price, but hey, it's got a transformer rail on it. That's the plus.
And an SB, the
A3
SBA3
brace, the decent brace.
I have one of those transformer rails. I haven't put it on a rifle yet. It's just in my parts box. Seems like a good piece of gear. No, I'm with you. I don't think this is bad. I think it's fine, but I mean it's an AR pistol for $1,600,
right?
It's got an A2 trigger in it. So
I'm gonna cut in and say the other two versions are a 6.5 Grendel or a 50 Beowulf.
Okay,
and they're the same price.
my thing that gets this is it's just base. It's basic for $1,600. If you want an ambidextrous freaking Raptor charging handle, that's another $84. If you want a trigger in it, a Velocity Steel trigger is what, $159.
Yeah.
One of their Alexander Arms triggers is $200. Their options. How's this? Because I looked it up and sometimes I get disgusted because Battle Arms has their own version of this in 300 Blackout too, right?
Yep.
Battle Arms Development Group. They have theirs, but it's like $2,100. And nobody tells me what kind of barrel I'm getting, by the way. Like, because the barrel is the heart of the gun, right? Yeah,
Yep.
nobody's telling me how come I'm paying all this money and not getting like I should know. You should be proud of the name of the barrel. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing is, should they mate the barrel? They should mate the barrel to the bolt. Maybe.
Yeah. Like,
well, I
it
just
should
like to
have
know
all
who
that.
makes the barrel. I mean,
Right.
do
Is
they
it a
make the barrel?
Faxon
Are they using
barrel?
Faxon barrel? Is it a BCM
That's what I'm
barrel?
saying.
Right.
Is it a Palmetto
But
State
why wouldn't
Armory
you say that?
barrel?
Why wouldn't you say that?
I
And then we got the
now
SIG
does that
MCX.
does
and 300
Alexander
Blackout.
does Alexander make their own barrels in house, or do
I have
they?
no
I
idea.
didn't see anything about them. I've read everything I could find on them, and I didn't see anything about who makes their barrels. All right, then we got the SIG MCX, right? Because that's in the same price range. And
Yeah.
again, I know what the frig SIG is, and they're all there. Or because I went through different companies that make these things, and I'm like, well, what's the price? And 1,600 is actually not that expensive when it comes to it. But I'm saying the other companies that charge more give you more. But I can buy a 300 blackout 7.5 inch pistol from Palmetto State Armory for $4.99. What are you really doing with this little gun anyway? For real, for real. If it's a range toy, why am I paying so much more for it and getting nothing when I can go with Palmetto State and they tell me, you know where they get their barrels from? All right.
Yeah.
You know where they get their barrels
Yep.
from. They have the SB tactical brace on it too, the SBA3, and they also have that trigger from ALG. So they have a better trigger than this for a third of the price. And stop with the duty gun bullcrap with a 300 blackout with a 7-inch barrel.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, unless you're using unless that's what you want to use for home defense, and honestly, with an 11-inch barrel, I'd probably just go with 5.56. If I wanted to run an 8-inch.
Wait a minute, what size barrel?
This is an 11-inch barrel on this.
11-inch barrel.
This is 11-inch barrel. So at that barrel length, I'd rather have a 5.56, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, what are you using it for? I got no problem paying this for a gun that I'm going to use for home defense or for, a legit use. But like you said, I kind of want to know what I'm getting. Who's making the barrel and the chamber? Is the bolt in the chamber mated for headspace and timing? Yeah.
You didn't even tell me what the barrel is. Now, and I forgot one. Bushmaster makes one with a 10-inch barrel, 300 blackout. They tell you the barrel steel. You know what I mean? Stainless steel 416. They tell you how it's treated.
Do we trust Bushmaster now, though?
And the ALG. I'm just saying.
Aren't they a freedom group?
It's out there. Look, listen, I ain't gonna pay $1,300. I'm not getting anything from Freedom Group because I don't trust it. I'll buy High Point first again. So, but I'm just looking at it, wondering what the price range is for a 300 blackout with a 7 to 10-inch barrel, because you have to look.
Right.
And I'm like, what are we using it for? And why aren't you people telling me what's going on? And I believe by the time you get to by the time you get to this, I'm figuring most people can build their own out of quality products.
Well, and the thing is part of the reason I stuck this particular pistol compared to the other two that they have at the same price is because we can compare this to something. Now the 50 Beowulf for $16.59 or whatever, I think is a far better deal than a 300 blackout. And that's kind of why I was like, they're all three the same price, but a 300 blackout, and you have other options available. But like a 50 Beowulf, not many companies make a 50 Beowulf. So I could see it more in that than the 300 blackout. And I was like, okay, I don't get it either. So I'm glad you guys don't get it either.
Yeah, I was trying, and I'm like, okay, you're less expensive than everybody else who charges way too much for their 300 blackout pistol, but you're giving me nothing. You give me an A2 trigger, dude? Seriously?
Yeah.
Nobody told you about ALG triggers? Those are really good triggers for $65.
And I bet if a dealer contacted them and said, I want 250 of those, they'd be quite a bit less. Okay, I guess we'll put that to rest.
Whoa, that was a little lag there.
What the heck was that, bro?
I don't know. That was weird. And again, it may be worth it. I don't know, but I'm just there's other options. I don't know. I'm not a 300 blackouts, meh. Unless you're using sub 10.5-inch barrels.
Dude, I am so 300 blackout is again. This is the barrel length you use it. Actually, it's a little long. Actually, it was developed for shorter barrels and suppressors,
like a 9-inch or something.
Yeah,
like 8 to 10's where it shines.
To me, if you are not using a 300 blackout as it was designed for what it was designed, you're wasting your money. You can buy something else for less money. If you have a 14.5-inch 300 blackout or a 16-inch 300 blackout, why? I don't understand it. Are you getting it just to get it? Because you can get it in other calibers. What, you want a 30 caliber round firing out an AR 7.62 by
39?
Please help me. Thank you. It went away. like the number just kept spinning 762 by 3 and then just but yeah 39.
To be fair, the 300 Blackout has a 762 designation. I think it's 762 by 40, maybe.
I look, I don't even try.
I don't
But
know.
what I'm
But now the one thing I will say about that is if I was going to do a 30 caliber in an AR, I would go 300 over 7.6239 just
Why?
because of because the bolt head. There's with the by 39, the bolt face is a little wider and you get way
They
less
shave a lot
material
off.
out there.
And
Yeah,
They
so
shave a lot off.
you get a breakage much sooner, but
And you
so-
have less magazine problems.
Oh, okay.
if
with
you
the
want a
300 Blackout.
7.6239, get a damn AK. Like just do it. Go be a commie. Get an AK.
I look at it as there's other ways to do it. There's other guns out there that take 7.62 ARs, but you playing now. You ain't real about this. like this is your fun gun. This is a gun you let your friends shoot. This is not the gun you take to 1,000 or 2,000 round count class because you want to save on steel case 7.62 by 39.
Gotcha.
You're gonna be mad all class long.
Okay. Well, now that we're done with the AA Highlander pistol, we do actually some feedback came in the other day, so I will read it. It came in from actually the Firearms Radio Network site, I think, and Sean forwarded it to me. From Chris C. Says, "I love the show and advice." Excuse me. First of all, I love the show. Oh, we hadn't gotten that one. By far the best podcast on FRN. Why,
Whoa.
thank you. I know. I'm a little sad when I finish the weekly podcast and have to wait another week to hear about 2A for E, low recoil loads, and everyone beating up Zane about his Glock love. My second duty gun was a Gen 2 Glock 23, and I still have it, and it has never failed to go bang. I need some advice. I want to get my wife a 9mm carry gun. She likes the Shield 2.0 and the SIG 365. Any thoughts? Thanks for the podcast. And I'm gonna say what everybody else is gonna say, and they're both good guns, from what I hear. Whichever one she wants is the one you need to get her.
There you go.
Yeah, I would echo that. They're both fine pistols, probably.
Yeah.
I think SIG has worked out the bugs in their P365s. I am not a huge SIG fan of late just because they've had so many issues on rollouts. They have corrected all those issues, but it's like, come on. I would add to your list of things to look at the a Glock 43 or even a 48. I would give a good hard look at and I've changed my opinion on this, which I do from occasion.
320s?
No, the Shield, the 380 EZ model. I was kind of anti those when they first came out. I've spoken to some people more knowledgeable than myself, and I'm
That
gonna
means anybody.
well, there's that. I'm gonna pick one up, personally, just to play with and have for classes because everybody brings 380s to my class and they're all junk. So,
Speaking of 380, okay, I think it's a good idea to pick out whatever she wants. There's a couple other options, but if you've gone through them already, yeah. But Zane is right. Glock has the options. Depends on how big your wife's hands are and what she wears to conceal it. All these things are real thin.
And as far as magazine capacity, I would edge to the 365 because of that.
I would too. But the other thing with that is, and I hesitate. I'm not even gonna say it. Never mind. Just because I don't want to get internet hate.
I think
the other thing is go to a good gun shop and just rent a bunch of stuff. Let her shoot everything that there is. Shoot the 365. Shoot the Shield. Shield's a great gun. 365. I haven't shot once. I can't say, but the people I trust say it's fine. Shoot a 48. Shoot a 43. Who else makes a gun in that size? Don't shoot an XDS. They make one in that size. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
I think CZ has something small now, right?
Do they?
There's always the car series of guns. Some people
Yeah,
like
very
them,
soon.
some don't.
I don't
But
like
they're
their
good guns.
triggers.
Right.
But
Yeah.
understand, a lot of first-time shooters do that whole I don't want to keep around in the trigger. I mean, excuse me, in the chamber, and with the longer trigger pull, car arms may make them feel safer because it has a revolver-like trigger, so
Yeah.
they know they can't fire it by an accident. And that's what I say. Look at stuff like that in the same price point and with a good reputation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Good
So, Tony,
What?
it's
10.
He said
All right.
what? Like he doesn't know.
What? All right. 2A, 4E. We're going to be rolling through NRA. Hopefully, you guys come out and see us at the Firearms Radio Network event or the TGC event. Going to be at both of them. Come up to me, say hi. G-Webs actually just ran a friggin' video about my rally shirts and trying to get people to wear them to NRA. So if you want to pick up our shirt, 1022clothing.us takes you to BCG Wear, which is my t-shirt guy. And if you want to come to NRA and just sport one of my shirts, come on, holla at me. Hopefully by then I'll have my patches, and if not too many, and I'll give as many away as I can if somebody comes up with me with one of my shirts on. How's that? Pretty cool, huh? I just made that up. What are you showing me, dude?
I'm just screwing with you.
Oh, okay. So what else? June 14th is the next diversity shoot in New Jersey. Gun for Hire Range. Hopefully see you guys there. Again, June 14th, second Thursday of the month. You can donate to our Patreon. People are winning all the time over there. They're winning Patch of the Months from Patreon Patch Company. Can't wait. Really appreciate you guys coming out, helping us out. You can donate to our GoFundMe. The second is for everyone. You can also donate to the 2A4E podcast. That helps us out. Shirts, podcast, da-da-da. That's it. Listen, thanks, guys. I've been trying to bring other people along and tell you about other groups. My 2A, what is it? My second? Oh, great. We have something going on in Jersey. We have a guy in New Jersey that came here, thought he was going to have freedom, and then found out Jersey was just slightly more free than New York. And he started mysecond.org. So if you're a person of color, female, lesbian, whatever, LGBT, contact Anthony over at mysecond.org. He has contact information there. He's making a series of videos that he is going to put out, just what your Second Amendment means to you. You know what I'm saying? And a bunch of old white dudes showed up to get videos done, and he was like, I'm trying to show the diversity of the community. So if you live in New York, New Jersey area, contact him and try to see what's up. Try to get in on it, just to show the diversity of the Second Amendment community.
Okay, now hopefully we haven't distracted Tony too much. So send questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review or a question or whatever, and we'll read it on the air and answer it maybe. Check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for more reviews. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. Thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network, and we are out.
Bye, Felicia.